We're just getting into character for the upcoming horror film that we're filming probably tomorrow night. That's gonna be cool. Can't tell any details about it because there are none. We don't know yet. So, are we good on, I'm probably gonna sit. Did you want to be on camera? No? Okay. Not even for a little bit, just like a little intro for what you wanna do? Okay. So I guess what I'll do is, Shroot, you'll come with me. Hi, I'm Neil. Hi, I'm Neil King. Neil before the king. That's just a play on words. We used it in a comedy recently. And I'm Neil King, and this is Shroot. He's my baby. He's 12 weeks old. He's 11 weeks old, and I'm a terrible father. Okay, you're gonna get down for a second, buddy, because you got the whole class just mushing over you here now. They were with Sherman. Did they call you Sherman in school? Yeah, no one ever called me King. So you're gonna ask, so I guess the best way to go about it is you can ask me the question, and if you don't want to like ask it on, do you want your voice on camera? Yeah, so we're doing a horror film tomorrow night. It's gonna be awesome. Yep, 48-hour Nickel Horror Festival. You guys should all come check it out. It'll be at the Spirit of Newfoundland. So yeah, you're gonna ask me some questions, and I'm gonna bullshit my way through it.
All right.
Okay, so what are the 7 different forms of art? I have no idea. Is this what I got?
One of the questions. That was just ones I choose.
So you got to pick out of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different things. Whoops.
So I figured you would fall under cinema or theater.
Cinema, yeah, I guess so. Theater. I haven't acted on stage since high school, but I'm running into opportunities as I'm going through like the film industry to get more involved in that kind of stuff because of just the people that I meet. That's what they're involved in too, like on the side or professionally as well.
Who are your biggest artistic influences and what are their influence?
Wow, I really didn't study for this test, did I? That's funny. Someone's shouting from the sidelines. Mark Critch. Apatow. Judd Apatow. And I was going to say also Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is a director in film. He does many different like a lot of gangster movies and stuff like Casino and Goodfellas. I have probably lots of different influences growing up throughout my life, but I guess my dad was when I was a child. He was a very good artist. Like he could draw cartoons very well and like very convincing. Being able to replicate like Hanna-Barbera and stuff. And I remember when I was a child too, he painted something from like a child, like a massive mural on my bedroom wall. Yeah, of like stuff from like Bible books, like little characters from the Bible. As an artist, and then there's also many different mediums that you could like go through. So I also play music. I direct films, I act in films, and professionally. You can take all of those things, so film's an interesting one because you can take all of your artworks, like if you're a painter, you can be a set decorator, or you could do storyboards. If you're a musician, you could do the score for a film. If you like to take photos, you could do camera. It's so diverse, and like I haven't even scratched the surface of like the number of different forms of art that go into one medium, which is filmmaking, which is why it's so interesting because you get to control this project full of like people. And for the record, I've only ever like done this voluntarily as like a director, but I'm definitely trying to work towards becoming a professional director. But you can take all of these art forms and put them all into one art form, and it's interesting. There's many different cogs. I don't need to do all of the work either. Yeah. Some other people, like Jake, for instance, came over today to help us direct this little documentary that we're doing. There's too many influences, I think, to
How is your work important to society?
How is my work important to society? Film, for instance, you can portray a message to people that you want to, like, if you got something you want to get out and a message to say to them, it's a good way to get it out there. For instance, I haven't really touched on the subject of like what I've done, but myself and Jake and some other people were involved in a competition for an international 48-hour film challenge. And out of 130 teams, we thought we didn't have a chance. Because we were so low budget and production value, et cetera, whatever, blah, 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 that none of that really means anything because you can do a lot with, you know, what you have. So for instance, the film that we did was, we drew the genre was drama. We had 48 hours to do the film, and the film was about a school shooter, and all of the aspects, all the things that we all put together, it showcased a fraction of the life of a school shooter's father, a single father whose mother just died of cancer, and he was a single father of, I think, 3 or 4 children. It was very, very hectic, and the time frame was the day that his son was going to go to court for killing a bunch of people in his school. And I guess it struck chords with a lot of people around the world because it's such a big topic that needs to be focused on, and things need to change for school shootings to stop happening. Like, can you imagine if someone walked into your school right now and just it's unfathomable, but like something in the United States, there's like 200 school shootings a month or something. Like, it's crazy. You can portray a message to people, and our message kind of was, you don't know these people. It's not his fault that the kid went in and did that, but there was people in the movie harassing him because his son did something. Does art help me in other areas of my life? And the answer is 1 infinite percent. Because you gotta find a passion in life. You gotta find hobbies that make you happy. Like, I know that you like to sing and stuff, and that's a really cool thing that you can do. And I'm sure you can do all kinds of other stuff. It helps you along the way in order to get through like hard times, or it's something that you enjoy doing because it's enjoyable to pass the time. Like, some people like to color, some people like to draw, some people like, I don't know, they're models or jump out of planes, they do whatever. I know they ride their bikes. That's one of my favorite things to do, but somebody stole my bike. It's not fair. Yeah. Art form can exist in many other different ways too. Like someone who rides a bike could technically be an artist in some form if they were like, I don't know, there's just so many different infinite mediums of what art could be. And especially nowadays in culture with like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, you can like reach people through those mediums, and then anything really can be an art form if you look at it. Like this today, what we're doing right now, you were making art by talking to me. I guess we'd have to pay you if this gets like a number of hits on YouTube.
Does art help you in other areas of your life?
Other areas of my life? Yes. Yeah, art helps. It helps me in other areas of my life because I'm just going to keep it short. It does help me for many of the other reasons that we just spoke about.
What have critics and collectors said about your work?
I haven't really had any of my other art forms criticized over the years, but I guess I got lots of likes and stuff on SoundCloud and comments. It has been put into different film festivals over the years. We've got some notable mentions such as like Best Film, Best Horror Film, a lot of different official selections. The 48-hour film that we did, that was the Global Challenge, we got to go on to feature that film at Filmapalooza and Cannes International Short Film Corner. And then that went on to win a couple awards in the United States and in Greece. There was one at, I think, the Liberty Film Festival. Best drama, I believe. A lot of best dramas and best short films and official selections and finalists and semi-finalists. I haven't really gotten any feedback from critics makes on the films itself, which kind of brings me to like the Arts NL now. One of my goals is to get more involved in that so that it is critiqued by somebody before I can even submit it to a film festival. And then the government has lots of different grants for stuff like that. So if you wanted to go out and make a short film just for fun, the government, if it was selected, they would pay you. So that's kind of cool. Lots of different recognition around the world, but it doesn't really feel like it because it was during a pandemic and I didn't actually go around the world.
Yeah. What are your ultimate career goals?
To make $1 million a year as an actor eventually, actually more than that. My goals in my career are to basically grow my career further so that...
Acting, directing, what?
Acting, yeah, in the direction of acting and directing. Like if there's anything that I ever wanted to do, or like some form of AD team, like the first assistant director or like a third AD. I find all of those jobs interesting too, because just the third AD sets a background. Like you could have hundreds of people and they all need to move in some formation. And it takes a lot of like mental stability. Oh, wow. Mental, no, that's not what I meant to say. Mental processing in order to make the bigger picture come to life. And I think that's really cool, being able to work your way up, starting from the bottom as like a PA and then work your way up to like a casting director or some form of art department, like a director. That's my ultimate goal. And to make $1 million a year as an actor.
Good. That's all we needed about 30 seconds ago.
Have other artists influenced your work?
Yeah, I've been influenced by other artists, especially local artists, such as like my friend, for instance. My friend Pam is an oil painter, and his pieces are just like kind of realistic. Never seen a whole lot like it. We actually did a documentary with him once, and it was kind of cool, just showcasing his stuff. But a lot of different musicians over the years, and a lot of different films, like The Matrix, Fight Club, anything like Quentin Tarantino. Those are all cool influences.
Has education or training influenced your work?
I haven't really had any formal education or training. A lot of, I guess, military training, which you can translate into film. But most of my jobs that I've ever done are like art forms. It's just kind of, they call it christening by fire. I just jump into it without any training. Now, it would be beneficial if you were interested in doing that to go to school, if you had like a specific thing that you wanted to do and learn to do that, because that would be the like ultimate way to get all the knowledge that you need. But you can start from the bottom and learn from the ground up without any prior knowledge on your own. YouTube, you could research all different kinds of things.
What are some of your creative techniques?
Some of my creative techniques, I spend a lot of time thinking about like potential premises and scripts, or like, things that happen in a movie, that could happen in a movie, even if it never gets created, like just the art of like that, learning those processes, or like, improv, being able to like, stand in a room with another person and just create something out of nothing, just with words to each other. I also like to get into thinking about these things and doing these things. I focus on my own like physical activity. So I'll go for a walk, and if I'm out for a walk, I'll be creating those ideas in my mind so that, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm getting my exercise, and I'm also getting future work potentially created if I have the time.
Does your home or environment influence your work?
Yeah, of course, because I live here, and it's very, like, Newfoundland is a very scenic place. So, like I just said, when I go out for a walk, I'm down by the ocean, I'm in a trail in the woods, or I'm even walking down the street. And like even here today, you can see like our surroundings are just really nice. So that's kind of inspirational. And Newfoundland also has like a lot of deep cultural heritage that's like interesting to people. What is the purpose or goal of my work? Money! No, but in particular, like some of the things that I do, I don't make money from. Right, so, but it can exist in the world, and people can enjoy it, even though I don't make money from it. But I do. I do and I don't. Hey, bud, because my hobby is also my work that I do professionally. But I think in particular, things that I've created, sorry, I have it. I know what I'm about to say, I just keep forgetting what I'm about to say. And that's a lot, that's definitely not the purpose of my work, but it happens in my work particularly often as an actor. I originally started making this in order to get through, I started filmmaking in order to get through like really tough times it started mostly during the pandemic. Now I've always had kind of like, I've always been on my own sometimes, just like I remember now over the years writing things to like film, and mostly my goal is just to eventually try to grow business in Newfoundland, starting productions that hire people in the community in order to make a bigger picture. But in order to do that, we have to like practice by doing things like the Nickel Film Challenge and other film challenges, or just doing it just for fun. But we need to get funding, so we need to practice in order to be able to get the skills, in order to get the funding, and then find the people to help create the film. So like, that's my biggest goal. My pom-pom fell off. That's my biggest goal, is to provide potentially employment for future Newfoundlanders.
How can your work affect societal issues?
I was talking about the film that we did for the 48-hour film project. It brought up major issues that are happening in the world, and a lot of questions were asked in a really kind of simple way, but also in a very hectic way on screen. It just, you know, you can reach out, you can bring up bigger issues.
Which art trends inspire your current work?
That's a tough question because like I'm watching Dahmer on Netflix right now, and just trying to get in the zone for the upcoming horror challenge, because we're always brainstorming ideas to like make new films. So I was saying, we started watching Dahmer on Netflix, which I know is very dark and disgusting. And when I watch something on like Netflix, I just analyze. I'm always looking, because I work as a background actor, so I focus on how the film is made, for one, because that's one of my interests. How are they doing this? How are they making that guy's head decaying inside of the fridge? And that's a really kind of dark thing to talk about, but it's a horror film. It's a art form for people. But I also try to look at the background and try to see like what the people are doing in the background, because they are there and they're not really generally told what to do. They're kind of like given a generalization, but then they have the license to do what they want essentially within the world and interact with the people in it. So it's kind of like cool to see what I do as a profession on screen that somebody else has made, that's just like really, really cool, like, and see how they kind of relate to me and how I'm performing, I guess. Are you froze to death?
How has your style changed over time?
I started getting interested in producing my own music, and I started making electronic music, and I was posting it on a SoundCloud, and I started getting a lot of attention. It was like 5,000 or 6,000 followers, and one day Snoop Dogg shared one of my posts, and I thought that was kind of cool, and that just kind of motivated me to go a little bit further. I was into like Odd Future and Lana Del Rey and all those kind of sounds at the time, because it was like very unique kind of produced sound. If you want to really go back even further, I started off with like piano lessons when I was a child, which was very overwhelming, and I gave up at a very early age because it was kind of like, I don't know, scary. And then I moved into like playing guitar in grade 9. I was like, oh, this is cool. Cool people play guitar, but it's not, the point of it is not to be cool. Like, but that's what I thought at the time, and that's what I thought all of these things were. I was chasing after being cool until I finally realized, you know, I just need to do this for myself and other people, get other people involved, so that, you know, it's a community involvement. So I started playing guitar. I was in music in school. When I was really young, I was an actor in school plays and stuff, and I was really interested in that. And at the age of 35 now, I said if I had ever had my time back, I would have dropped out of school in grade 3 to pursue an acting career. I didn't do that, but I did gain lots of other skills along the way in order to, you know, develop my art form. So yeah, I've transitioned many different ways. I was very into drawing when I was a kid, and I still am. at the age of 30, I brought it back. I got myself a chalkboard and started painting pictures and like started getting more interested in that kind of thing. And then it moved into, I tried watercolor for the first time, and I have 2 like ocean prints, like scenic ocean prints of like a seagull and one of like an ocean crashing on a rock. And then I did a little fall scene as well. So now I've got like 3 watercolor paintings that I painted that it's in my house that I never really thought I would do before. I just picked it up and did it, and I was like, oh, I can do this, you can do this, everybody here can do this, you just gotta do it. Yeah, and then it moved into filmmaking after I started working as a background actor on the TV show Frontier. Yes, with Jason Momoa, he's so dreamy. And that kind of got me interested in filmmaking too. But I was always like, I had my dad's camcorder on me at all times when I was a child. Now that I think back, and I remember doing like skateboard videos and stuff. Again, to like do cool stuff, but like skateboarding is not about being cool. Skateboarding is about being like, I don't know, f*** you. I'll do what I want. But that's also what art form is. Like this is me. I control this environment. I'm doing it, and this is the end result.
Where do you find inspiration?
I try to find inspiration everywhere. Especially if I'm watching something that's created. I try to find inspiration a lot everywhere. If I'm like watching TV, I'll try to get ideas from like other filmmakers, other musicians. If I'm playing music, I like to like just mess around, do stuff by accident. It's kind of weird. You can do it in painting too, right? You can like slap paint on a piece of paper and then puppy, you could like slap paint on a piece of paper and then draw an image based on the lines and the ways that just from what you see, like you can turn it into something different.
Do you have a routine, like time of day, month, season, or specific place where you create art?
Not in particular, no. Anytime, constant. Yeah, it's something you need to be focused on. And sometimes it's hard for people to, like writers especially, they'll get writer's block. It's hard to...
Comes in cycles.
When it happens, and when it don't. It's kind of a good way to, even if you want to be inspired, you want to write something and you want to do whatever, if you can't think of it in that moment, then it just, I don't know, you need to write your ideas down as soon as they come to you, or like at least, keep a mental note of your ideas and then work on it later, whenever you get a chance.
Are you full-time? Do you have another job besides creating art?
I work as an actor. I'm an actor member. I'm a NIFCO member. I've worked as a PA on larger productions here, but I've worked on pretty much every production in the city now since 2015, starting with Frontier, and regularly I'm a forensics officer on Hudson and Rex, and that's the reason why you saw Shrewd in the beginning, because I was so inspired by that dog, working with that dog for so many years, that I just needed to get a German Shepherd. And I've worked on Son of a Critch. If you can actually